Hello and welcome to the FT's ongoing series of technology debates. Today we're looking at the consumerization of IT. What problems does it cause, and do the benefits outweigh the costs? With me to discuss this and other issues are Mike Wright, Global Head of Technology at Man Group, the asset management hedge fund, Richard Absalom, analyst at Ovum, the research company, and Brian Glick, Editor-in-Chief at Computer Weekly. Thank you all for joining us. There's an increasing trend for the consumerization of IT. Employees are coming into the workplace with their own devices, smartphones, tablets. The CEO wants to have his iPad. And the IT department has to connect all these devices and support them. What kinds of headaches does this cause for you? Starting with you, Mike.
Well, I think first and foremost, I don't think of it really just as an employee problem or opportunity. To me, consumerization has four facets, or that's how we think of it across Man. One is obviously, yes, the staff, and I'll talk a bit about that, but also, perhaps more importantly, customers, as to how their behaviours are changing and how we can help support them in terms of investor behaviour, etc. Thirdly, there's then all the kind of, technology challenges, which you allude to. But fourthly, also, there's the whole financial case. How do you actually support this plethora of new devices without just increasing cost? So those are the sort of four dimensions.
Richard, are those sort of the things? Are there other issues that people should think about if they are considering a consumerization strategy?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd say one thing that people often miss out is the privacy concerns and what you can and can't actually do on an employee's device. So what you can and can't access if you're trying to manage this consumerized world. And that can be quite different from country to country in terms of consumer privacy law. So having some kind of policy that takes that into account and allows employees to know what they're getting into if they bring their own device into work is quite important.
And Brian, are you seeing a lot of businesses embracing this? Is there still a lot of ambivalence about the strategy?
I think companies are being forced to embrace consumerization. As Mike said, this isn't just about people wanting to use smartphones and tablets to access their work systems. This is coming from a big change in people's expectations of and attitudes towards technology. These days, what people expect of technology is set by what they do at home. It's set by having a high-speed broadband connection and the ease of use of Google and the simplicity of eBay and the networking and communication capabilities of Facebook. And when they come into work now, they're if they come in and it takes them 10 minutes to boot up a PC and they're using clunky old-fashioned software applications, they're turning to the people next to them and saying, God, our IT department's rubbish, aren't they? And this is the challenge for IT departments, is they have to embrace this and deliver the sort of systems that people are expecting to use in their everyday life now.
So how do the financials then work? I mean, does this cost money, save money?
And both. In the sense, yes, it costs money because there's more calls to the service desk. People have got a plethora of devices, and even if they don't have a formal support, most people on the service desk are quite willing to help. So there's no doubt that increases it. The other costs that tend to go up are the general infrastructure. You've got to have the capability for wider networks as people want to use Wi-Fi and other kind of capabilities. So there's no doubt there are more costs. On the other hand, I think the benefits are dramatic and far outweigh the costs, and it's hard to measure because just the ability to spend a few minutes while waiting for a bus or at an airport. How do you measure that kind of productivity or the ability that you can respond to something faster than a competitor? So I think it's very difficult to measure the benefits, but we would certainly say there's no doubt that this is something we want to embrace and explore.
And what about you, Richard? What do you see as the cost-benefit equation?
Yeah, I'd agree. I wouldn't go into it looking at it as a cost-saving exercise. Apart from the things already mentioned, you've got airtime costs, for example. What happens if you have a whole load of personal tariffs that the company decides they want to pay for? That's going to be far less economic than having a corporate negotiated tariff, for instance. And on top of all the extra costs around the service desk, you might decide you want to go and find a vendor solution, an enterprise mobility management solution. On that, you're paying maybe a few pounds per month per device to support them. So this is all going to possibly outweigh the hardware costs of what you're saving.
But you also don't want to look at it just on the sort of staff-related things, as I mentioned at the beginning. I think customers have an expectation that they can interact with your services and they're on a 24/7 basis.
So there can be a customer acquisition benefit. Really,
Absolutely,
there.
and I think certainly within our business we have a huge capability for sort of providing investors with interactive information that they can download and then can analyse themselves. As I think Brian was saying, people now have an expectation they can do this themselves. They don't want to wait for a monthly report. They want to be able to do it when they want to do it.
Yeah, I think if you're going to really get benefit from it, and if you're going to make savings in the long run from it, or get more sales from it, you've got to change the way you do things. It's not a question of just bringing some consumer technology in order to do things the way you've always done it in the corporate IT world. You have to, if you want to have more flexibility and more agility and all these good things, then you need to do things differently in the way you do it. Mike and I were talking earlier, and he talked about getting teams of people together in a so-called skunk works environment just to play with development and come up with new ideas, and that's the sort of thing that your typical corporate IT department often doesn't do, but that's the sort of thing that is a really important part of doing this.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm afraid we'll have to stop there, and thank you for watching. For more details and other videos in the series, please go online and look at ft.com/business-technology-debates. Thank you.